This is Fortescue, and you're watching Guns N' Roses Central.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And we've got some breaking ACDC news that broke actually yesterday. So it appears that Brian Johnson has allegedly confirmed that he's back in ACDC and the band is actually recording a new record. So if you guys remember last year, a series of photos showed the principal members of ACDC at a warehouse studio in Vancouver. And this fueled speculation that the rock legends were working on a new record with singer Brian Johnson back at the helm. So oddly enough, this news comes to us not via Brian Johnson, but a band who ran into him at an airport. So the band Terrorizer posted a tour recap on Facebook thanking their fans and crew, and towards the end of the message they revealed, "We ran into Brian Johnson from ACDC at the airport today after the flight home, and we asked him about the rumors of him being on the new ACDC album, and he said yes, and that he is sick of denying it, so that was a cool surprise ending to the tour." So Johnson's status in the band has basically hung in the balance after he was forced off the Rocker Bus tour, after risking permanent hearing damage, and Axl Rose stepped in and filled in for him. Now, there's been rumors that their new album is going to be a tribute to Malcolm Young, and they're going to be using some of Malcolm's material on the record. And here's a clip that Eddie Trunk has from his radio show where apparently he spilled the beans on what he knows about AC/DC's future plans, and here's what he says.
I'll tell you what I can share with you, Paul, because and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to take calls, because there's so much that went on for me in the last week and a half at NAMM, and so many people I talked to that I could take a week just running down stuff randomly to you guys. So when things come up, it jogs my memory and like, oh yeah, let me tell you that. Okay, so I have a source that will remain nameless, but a very, very, very well-placed, reliable source regarding AC/DC, who I did run into and ask about AC/DC, and he told me, to his knowledge, the album is, like you said, done, that they went to that studio in Canada and made this record, and that what people speculated on, meaning that these were riffs and ideas and it's more of a tribute to Malcolm Young, is true, that Malcolm had a bunch of stuff recorded that they worked off of and sort of incorporated to the record. So this was sort of a unity thing to come together and put out some of Malcolm's music and celebrate AC/DC. This source also told me that he doesn't know what they're going to do with this record, when and how it's going to come out, and adds, as far as he was aware and he would know, there is no plans for live shows. Now that could change, but there were no plans at this moment for them to play. But there was a recording done, and they're going to figure out what they're doing with that. So that's all he told me. He didn't tell me anything about Axl or who's on it. He just basically said the guys went in, that they did work off of some stuff that Malcolm had. It is a celebration of Malcolm. There is a record done, and when and how that comes out, they're not sure, and whether they play or not, it's not sure.
Yeah, I heard they're going to reset the clock a little bit, bring in some new people like Michael Butler, who was in Exodus. He's in a AC/DC cover.
And one thing Eddie didn't really talk about is Axl's involvement, and the fan called in saying that he claims that one side of the AC/DC album is going to be songs by Axl, while the other will be songs by Brian Johnson. Here's the clip.
Trying to figure out some of these new AC/DC 2019 rumors. AC/DC keeps that closed ship. But I'm hearing a lot about a possible record that's done. And a side A, Axl, and a side B, Brian, as in Brian Johnson. And I also heard that playing bass, possibly Michael Butler of Exodus. And I'm wondering if you've heard any of these rumors yourself.
No. Well, I have not heard anything about Axl, and I have not heard anything about Cliff Williams not playing bass, because all the video that those photos that leaked up in Canada all showed the classic lineup of the band with Cliff and Brian. So you Paul, are the first I'm hearing about a different bass player and any involvement from Axl.
If you guys remember, about a month or so back, there was rumors that Motley Crue was going to be doing something this coming weekend for the Super Bowl. Well, now it's been confirmed what they're going to be doing. So Motley Crue's recent emoji math problem has finally been solved. So as was suspected, the band's music will be used in a Super Bowl ad this weekend, with planters utilizing the Crue's 1989 single Kickstart My Heart to soundtrack the ad. The spot, which can be viewed at the link below, includes a cameo from Charlie Sheen and centers on Mr. Peanut's high-speed mission to save Alex Rodriguez's Super Bowl party. As Crue fans have known for years, it's hard to beat Kickstart My Heart when you need that extra jolt of energy to get the pulse racing, and it certainly does the trick for Mr. Peanut. So if you guys want to check out the ad, it's down below. So according to People, the planter spot featuring Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart will air during the second quarter of Sunday's game between the Los Angeles Rams and the New England Patriots at Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So Kickstart My Heart, of course, appeared on Motley Crue's 6 times platinum album from 1989, Dr. Feelgood, and the song became a live favorite for the band over the years, which also enjoyed pretty decent chart success on radio. Now, though the band retired from touring a few years back, Motley Crue are back in the spotlight this year, as the Dirt film is expected to arrive this year, with the band recording some new music for the movie as well. So turning now to some other rock and roll news. Now, this kind of blew my mind. So Kiss, of course, is on their last tour, they claim, and it's what they bill as their farewell tour. But since their farewell run was announced, there's been a lot of questions from fans about whether Kiss alumni might turn up at the shows. So during a recent chat with Guitar World, as transcribed by Ultimate Classic Rock, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons got into that very discussion, talking about who might and might not be welcome on their final tour. So the first names to come up were original members Ace Frehley and Peter Criss. Now, Gene Simmons says that while the two one-time members will not be invited on a permanent basis, the door is open for appearances, saying Ace and Peter have gotten 3 chances. The bassist states they were in and out of the band, fired 3 times for drugs, alcohol, bad behavior, being unprofessional, and they weren't carrying their load. So the short answer to your question is we'd love to have Ace and Peter join us here and there, and if they don't, it's not going to be because of us, but they're never going to be in Kiss again. He went on to add, 3 times is a charm. I promise I'll pull out, doesn't work. It's the boy who cried wolf. Oh, I've been straight for a million years. Terrific. Have a good life. Would we welcome Ace or Peter to jump on stage for a song or two? Of course. Could we depend on either Ace or Peter to do a full set night after night? Not on your life. So Ace Frehley responded angrily on social media, saying that he wasn't fired 3 times, but that he quit twice because Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley are, as he says, control freaks, untrustworthy, and were too difficult to work with. And Frehley also stated that Simmons has repeatedly made slanderous references to his substance abuse issues that have cost me millions of dollars, and now that I'm 12 years sober, you're still saying I can't be trusted to play a whole night show. Frehley also unleashed on the pair, saying, I've tried to be nice and friendly by inviting you and Paul to perform on my past albums for E1 Music, he continued. Give each of you one of my prized Gibson Les Paul 59 models, but today's comments have made me realize that you're just a jerk and a sex addict who's being sued by multiple women, and you're trying to sweep it all under the rug. So the icing on the cake was when you groped my wife and propositioned her in Los Angeles at Capitol Records building behind my back when I was trying to help you on one of your vault experiences, which I only found out about several weeks later, revealed freely. She was planning on pursuing a suit against you, but I told her to call it off. So the guitarist ended his post by demanding complete and heartfelt apology and offered to give me my old job back and removing Tommy Thayer from the throne that I created. So we got some sad news for you Ozzy fans. So it was announced that Ozzy Osbourne was going to be forced to postpone the first 4 dates of his European tour as he's continued to battle the flu. Now as health issues persist, the entire leg of the tour featuring Judas Priest as support has been postponed. So yesterday was only 4 dates, but now they've postponed the entire tour. So the Prince of Darkness released the following statement outlining his current health status while also lamenting the dates that have to be rescheduled. He said, I'm completely devastated for having to postpone the European leg of my tour. It just seems that since October, everything I touched has turned to shit. First, the staph infection in my thumb, and now coming down with the flu and bronchitis. I want to apologize to all my fans who have been so loyal over the years, my band, my crew, and to Judas Priest for letting you all down. However, I promised the tour with Judas Priest will be completed. It's being rescheduled right now to start in September. Again, I apologize to everyone. God bless. Love you all. Ozzy. So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my new channel, Rock and Roll True Stories. I'm planning on uploading maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I've got a video out today about the Red Hot Chili Peppers and their tension-filled performance on SNL, which dates back to 1992. And it was honestly one of the most memorable performances that SNL has done on their show in recent memory. It's kind of sad when you watch SNL these days. All they have are rappers on for their musical guests. They had Greta Van Fleet on a couple weekends ago, and it was a terrible performance that the band did, at least their first song. But nowadays, you don't really see even any rock bands on SNL. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your comments in the section below. And do you think that Axl will be making an appearance on the new AC/DC record, or whether it's just going to be strictly Brian Johnson on the record? Let me know, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit subscribe. Take care.